morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode from the Scale Up Thursday series. My name is Rashmita, and I'm the event planner for Microsoft Reactor India. I'm here today joined by our very own host, Vivek and Vinayak, and of course, our special guest speaker, Jeril. But before we start our session today, I would request you all to read our code of conduct. We are all here together to learn, so please be respectful of other people's views, understanding of differences, being kind and considerate in the way you engage. The chat section is open throughout, and we do encourage you all to participate. Our speaker will answer all your questions during the session, so please feel free to drop all your questions in the chat section. With this, thank you all. Enjoy your session, and over to you, Vivek.
Thank you, Rashmita. Hey, folks, welcome to one more episode of Scale Up Thursday. This interesting startup today again. I'm Vivek, Senior Cloud Advocate. I have Vinayak with me. Hey, Vinayak, welcome back.
Hi, Vivek. Good to chat again on another episode of Skill Up Thursday.
And are you ready to see one more magic? Magic with
Yeah, I think I
technology.
think yeah, I think the last few episodes, I think we were fascinated with what startups are building with Azure, and today we have another one in that series where Videoken, who have been building both a video indexing, video search, and video analytics platform on Azure, and we'll go a little bit deeper into their journey and the architecture and evolution as well. So yeah, Vivek, let's get the guest on and let's start.
Yeah, let me get in, Jeril. Hey, Jeril, welcome to the
Hey
show.
Vivek, hey Vivek, hey Vinayak.
Hi,
Thank you for
Jerry.
How are
having me.
you?
Nice to be here.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Great. So, Gerald, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we will get into the real business of Videoken.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm a, engineering graduate. Graduated a decade ago, and I've been probably worked in about 5 or 6 organizations till now, and most of them being startups. Uh, and I've always enjoyed working with startups and working on the cutting edge stuff. I happened to join this company called Videoken um, now 4.5 years ago, and I was completely fascinated by the technology that they were building, and it's been a great journey ever since. And I've been slowly rising up through the ranks, and now managed to become the lead for the whole engineering effort. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to share the journey and our experiences with all of you guys.
Fantastic. So let's get started with the problem statement then, Vinayak. So how did Videoken came into existence? So yes, Gerald, go ahead with whatever your plan to share with us today.
Sure. Um, Let me just introduce the company. So, at the core, we are a video interactivity platform which makes learning videos rich and engaging. We were founded back all the way in 2017. Back in the day, we were part of Xerox Labs, and the founders of the company came up with a beautiful idea of making videos indexable through artificial intelligence, and they managed to spin it off and start a new company, which became Videoken. I joined the company about a year later in 2018. Um from there on, we have had a few changes in ideas and changes in directions, and finally, we have arrived at the solutions that we have today. Just to go into a bit more details about the company, we have our R&D centers in Bangalore as well as Princeton. We have a bunch of US patents, and we have a bunch of them pending. And our main customers are people like General Mills, Kaplan, which are all learning-based companies, and the main mode of teaching is through videos as well. So this is just a quick background about the company. Um, and yeah, before I go into further explanations of what we are trying to do, um, is there any questions that you guys want to ask me?
No, I think we'll just continue. I think we'll go through the flow, and I think maybe just before I think we talk about the architecture, we'll probably ask any questions. And also, meanwhile, I think for the speaker, all the listeners who are seeing this on YouTube or other platforms, if you can ask any questions, and Vivek will be highlighting any questions, and Jeril will be answering on the behalf of Videoken. So keep your questions coming, and we'll be taking them as we kind of go along. So yeah, yeah, Jerry, please continue.
Yeah, thank you, Vinayak. Yeah, like I said, our main purpose is to take video interactivity to the next level for and make it easy for people to search, discover, and engage with videos. And we have a bunch of products that we have in the line which do all of these, which I will go into in more detail down the line. Um, yeah, so what exactly are we trying to solve here, right? So I think this is a statement that all of us can agree with. The world nowadays is learning through video, uh, unless of course things like ChatGPT has different plans, uh, and everybody is teaching through some sort of video, especially after the pandemic. Um, we know that a lot of Zoom recordings are happening. Most of the meetings are nowadays online, and a lot of trainings are happening online. And there's just an abundance and there's just an explosion of video content online. And we as a company are trying to organize it, make it easy to discover, also make it more engaging. Um, uh, just to reiterate the problem that we have seen out there, um, our customers as well as students have told us that a lot of videos are very fundamentally passive, which means that you never get the experience that you get in a classroom. You just passively watch it, and yeah, nobody really knows. Even the content creator doesn't know how engaged the viewer was with the video. You just get something like a view count, uh, which will tell you if someone watched a video for like 10 seconds, but doesn't tell you much more than that, right? Also, we have these hour-long videos, and it's kind of hard to find the right stuff within the video. As you can see nowadays, YouTube has this built-in chapters for videos, which kind of validated our own problem statement that it is really important for people to go and find parts of video that really want to see. Yeah, and also uh, engagement levels is something uh, a lot of our customers have told us. Um, People just watch it for the sake of it, but they don't recollect or recall much of the video content.
Yeah, I think this is really cool because if I speak from personal experience, I also like watching videos, and like especially if they're like hands-on coding, and then kind of work alongside them. I think you have YouTube also, like we are on YouTube, so it's in some sense a moot point, but also like on Twitch and other places, you see that people are doing live coding sessions. And I think sometimes where video can, I think, shines is that you can actually search and find the exact content. So if I want to refer back, like just I want to do refer back documentation, I think video can does that problem, solve that problem really easily, right? Because again, many of the videos, whether it is like from conferences or trainings, I think in some sense, in India especially, that we see a lot of entrepreneurs have actually got that impetus. One is obviously because of geo and data becoming cheaper, and but also I think YouTube has been a big factor in that, because today I think you can learn from the best teachers worldwide, and a lot of the content is actually for free, right? So I think way back in the day, I think when we were in college, I think getting access to information was really difficult, but now can learn from the best people. So you can see that in some sense, even in specifically from the startup spaces, that the delta that the other regions have in terms of information is actually very less. And for example, we've talked about OpenAI also. I think startups in India is building as fast as in the US or Europe or anywhere else, and that
Yeah.
is absolutely fascinating, right? And I think video has been like a big part of that, and access to information has been there. But the challenge always has been like finding that exact snippet or going back, which video doesn't in some sense lend itself to, right? Yeah, and
Yep.
especially I think I have a 7-year-old kid, so I see that he enjoys watching videos and learning from them rather than like reading from the book. Obviously reading from the book is important, but I think this is a very good video is a very good augmentation solution in that sense, right? So yeah, so I can,
Yep.
and many people in the audience can completely relate to what you're saying, Jeril.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Just to
I
add
have
on to
just
that,
one.
yeah,
Sure,
please.
sure. Go ahead. No, I just have
I
one
just
question though.
yeah, just to add
So
on to what Vinayak was saying, uh, I think there's just too many videos out there right now,
Yeah,
and you kind
yeah,
of go into this choice paralysis where you don't even know what to pick because you have so many
absolutely.
options. So I think the problem is like try to organize it and make the best content available at the front, which is also a problem we are trying to solve.
interesting. So I have one question. So basically, what will be the differentiator in terms of the already available analytics from like YouTube?
Right.
It does provide a lot of data.
Right.
What I mean, maybe you can take this question now, or probably when you do the demo at the end, also you can answer that. But I think that is something which will also be very interesting to know.
Sure, sure. I think it's. I'll probably do a demo of the analytics. I think it'll be a good question to address at that point. But just to give a quick summary, we go into much more depth of, especially for long videos, what parts of the video was most engaging to the users, things like that. We go into much more depth as compared to what you get from something like YouTube.
Got it.
Okay, so yeah, let me continue with this. So, um, just a few solutions that we have. One thing is we do chapterized videos, just like what you see on YouTube. We have our algorithms which does a good job of chapterizing video into different parts. This is especially useful for an hour-long videos, where people's attention span is pretty low, and you can probably want to, especially when you're trying to revisit a video, it's very easy to jump to that specific portion of the video. We also have in-video quizzes, which are very easy to create. Anyone can drop in a quiz at any point of the video, which will kind of ensure that people are engaged. You can't just passively watch the video. And also the content creator will know whether people have actually listened to the content based on the scores that you get in the quiz, right? Also, we have a very good search in our product, which kind of does a deep search within videos. When I say deep, we index all the chapters, captions, of course. We pick up key phrases. All of this is indexed and is searched, uh, which kind of brings up a lot of unique solutions. You can have an hour-long video, and there could be a mention of something called, let's say, deep learning at some point in the video. There's a chapter dedicated to it. Our search can very easily find it, and people can just jump into that part of the video and skip everything else. So one of the things that we see people do nowadays on YouTube is, they have one long video, then they create a separate YouTube channel. They split that video into clips and upload it as clips to make it available uh, through the YouTube search. But using our solution, you just any video in any part is just fine. You can just find it right away. Um, Also, we just like I mentioned, we have deep analytics on videos, which gives a bunch of engagement metrics that the content creators can use and take actions. Uh, for example, uh, you know, this part of the video was boring. This part of the video was more interesting. So based on that, you can take further action. Say, I should be making more content on this part of the video as compared to this part of the video. Um, Students were bored at this part. Maybe I should put in more energy into that part. things like that. So it helps to know which part of the video was most engaging to the users as well. Mm, um, yeah, that's pretty much an overview of what we do. We um, let me probably give a quick demo of one of the products that I was just talking about. Um, yeah, so this is just a sample video that let me just mute it for a second. Yeah. Um, yeah, so this is our own video player that we use, that a lot of our customers use. As you can see, we have chapters built into it, and we can jump to any part of the video using these chapters. Um, we have built-in search within the video, so you can quickly find any. If you just go back to a video and you want to find something, you can just quickly find it within the video as well. Um, Now, then, this is like a quiz that we have made within the video. As you can see, it's very easy to make this quiz. I can just go here to this part of the video and click on this button, and you can just type in whatever question you have. You can keep adding multiple questions. Just click go live, and it's immediately live. Um, One of the things that we are trying to do is also create questions automatically from the content using AI, so that people can have thousands of videos, and it'll create questions so that students are engaged, and the creators will know whether the students are engaged as well. Yeah, we have a few other features like reactions within the videos, so that you know what part of the video was most engaging, things like that. Um, and we also have different presentations for the same. So we have a different UI for the same information. So people can go and choose whatever layout that they want to integrate into their websites as well. Yeah, so that's a quick demo of our video player. Um, so one thing we do is while we have our own video player, we also integrate with other video players, players like JW Player, Brightcove, Vistia, Vimeo, YouTube. So all of this, we have integrations with all of these players, so that you don't necessarily have to bring your video and host with us. So you already have a video hosting provider, and so we just do our integration. We pull in all the videos, we index all the videos, make it searchable, discoverable, and you get the same experience without having to move any of your videos as well. So yeah, so this integrations is something we are always expanding, so that you get the same experience with your current video provider and cloud as well. Yeah, so that's just a quick demo of the product, that one of our products that we have. Yeah, if any of you have any questions, just let me know.
You have
Uh,
your media player,
Yeah,
and you're basically going through that media player,
yeah,
and you have integrations to YouTube and all, right? So basically,
yeah.
if I have my videos which are hosted on YouTube, we can
Yep,
still go through these different kind of. Can I go through this
exactly.
different, like adding quizzes and everything into that?
Yes, yes, you can. You can. So what we
Okay.
do is we give a embed code, which you can embed into any website or any learning system, and it just works similar to YouTube, except
Okay.
that we have a layer of our metadata on top of it,
Mm-hmm.
which you can
Mm-hmm.
interact with and control the video. So that's how we integrate with all players. So it's a very seamless experience. We have very simple integrations with almost all video players out there.
Got it. I think we can go through a little bit of technology of building this.
Sure.
So, what all things you use to build this amazing tool? And
Yeah,
there are a
sure, sure,
couple of questions which are coming in, but I think you will definitely address couple of them, like Azure Media Service and other things. Uh,
sure, sure.
Anyways, once you talk about your architecture or the tools you're using, probably we can take those
Yeah, yeah,
questions.
yeah,
Okay.
sure. Oh yeah.
Um,
So
Jeril, I need to drop off, but I will be catching up the rest of the video. I've seen the solution, and I'm uh, very hopeful that I think the listeners would really enjoy the solution. I especially enjoyed it. I've seen the demos which I think Vishnu has given, as well in terms of indexing the videos and searching. I mean, that I think for me, I think transcripts is like searching, being able to search transcripts is like a big deal, because that is something that I miss, especially not just with video, but even with podcasts. And also, maybe you can talk a little bit about how your support for different languages is also, because I think that is one section that we haven't covered as well. Yeah, but I hope to catch up the video on YouTube later, and I think we will continue from here.
Yeah, cool. So we will go back to your slide then. The-
sure. Seem to be a bit of a internet issue here, so SharePoint is giving me trouble apparently.
Uh, Vivek, do you want to maybe meanwhile take any questions that might be relevant?
Yeah, this might be a good time for that then.
Yeah. So one of the question is grade two. So may I know how I can get access to it and optimize the cost of this tool?
Um, so we are primarily a business to business, which means that if you have a bunch of videos that you want indexed as part of your organization, you just talk to us and we just get you onboarded. It's a very simple process. Uh, we'll open account for you and do whatever integration that you need, and we'll pull in all your videos. We run it through our system, and that's pretty much all you have to do. Just talk to us, and all the integrations are pretty straightforward. It's very intuitive as well.
Cool. Are we back online?
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, there
yeah.
is one more question, but I think that you will address it in the tech stack. So I'm
Sure,
just leaving it to that.
sure.
Yeah.
Um, just to give a quick overview of our tech stack here, um, we use frameworks like React, Vue.js in the front end. We love TypeScript. We use it all across our products. In the backend, we use Django, we use Azure Functions, Cosmos DB, Elasticsearch, Redis, Postgres. For our ML tasks, we use TensorFlow. So, just a quick overview of the fundamental stack that we have. I'll be diving into more of this as we go on. Yeah, so this is the main piece of our puzzle, um, our video processing pipeline. This
Hmm.
is where all the magic happens. Um, so we have recently changed a little bit of this architecture, which I will go into as in the next slide. But fundamentally, this is what we do. Um, you know, people come and upload videos to our platform. Um, we queue it up. For that, we use the queue storage that we from Azure. Then we use a tool called FFmpeg to transcode all the videos. And all of this happens within container instances of within Azure. And once these videos are processed using FFmpeg, we push out a bunch of streaming assets, which gets stored in blob storage, and which gets pushed out to the customers through a CDN, or we store all the metadata in Cosmos DB, and we generate a lot of metadata. For example, we create captions, chapters, key phrases, bunch of other metadata. All of this uh, gets stored in Cosmos DB, and we use Azure Functions to deliver those metadata to customers, which is infinitely scalable and based on our demand, which we have seen, it's just very cyclical, and the functions take care of that. So we find it very convenient on that front. Um, Also, all our ML training happens on these container instances. We have GPU as well as CPU based instances there. Um, we put our models. Most of our models are in Azure files. Uh, we use cognitive services for things like speech to text, a bunch of interesting services there which we have. Earlier we used to have our own transcription engine, and it was kind of a race to keep it up to date, and at some point you have to pick your battles, and we decided that it's probably a good idea to give the heavy lifting to someone else. And uh, we've been pretty happy with. um, just let me move it to full
Cognitive.
screen. Yeah, yeah, so we've been pretty happy with the cognitive services. And we are actually, um, now that models like OpenAI Whisper has come out, and I know that Azure is working with OpenAI to get those into Azure as well. So I think that's probably something we are looking forward to and pretty excited about. But
So
as of now, we are very happy with the transcription quality and everything. Yeah, Vivek.
okay, so this is when I have bunch of videos I have, and I'll
Yeah.
come to you and say, okay, I want this to be uploaded, or this to be indexed, and probably use couple of features of yours like analytics and other things I want to on this particular video, and I give the video access to you,
Hmm.
and you perform this whole thing with, you use Azure container instance, and you create assets and
Yeah.
run couple of models and probably give it to the end user, this is what it is.
Yeah.
uh, can I do this with the already having, I might be having videos in YouTube
Hmm.
and maybe on Twitch or
Yeah.
on different places, and I want to index the videos which is there on YouTube. How do
Right.
I do that with this? Even there you pull the videos and do all the
Exactly.
bunch
So
of things which is.
yeah. So this is for our uploaded videos, but for the rest of the videos, the half of the stack is the same. You just don't upload the videos, but
Mhm.
our integrations pull in the videos into our blob storage. Then the rest of the pipeline continues as it is. And once for customers who are privacy oriented, we once we generate all the metadata, we completely purge the video so that we just remain the metadata. So yeah, the pipeline is pretty much the same. We Whether it's a YouTube video, Vimeo, Twitch, once the integration is in place, we pull in the video and run it through our pipelines.
Got it. So there is one question from Tarun. So I just want to pick that one as well because it's specifically for this slide. What is FFmpeg? I think it's formatting, right? So
FFmpeg is
it,
a video. It's a
yeah.
all-in-one toolkit for video. It's
Huh.
fundamentally a C++ library, which is really fast,
Got
and
it.
the entire video industry is completely reliant on FFmpeg, and we also do the same.
Got it. So this is the video processing architecture until 2021. So you
Yeah.
have made some changes to this architecture, is it?
Yes. So let me just. Um, yeah. So we discovered this very interesting service on Azure called Azure Media Service, um, and just like I was talking about picking your battles wisely, we decided that a lot of it is a problem that's already solved, and we don't need to solve it again. Which means that video transcoding, uh, and generating streaming formats, CDNs, all of these are solved problems, and it's probably, as a startup, it's not a burden that we should be carrying, and it's just we should just offload it to cloud. So we began looking into Azure Media Service, and yeah, it just gave us a lot of goodies out of the box. So it has very elastic video transcoding, which means that it can scale infinitely to any load. It has built-in CDN, and also it gave us a lot of extra goodies that we didn't have. For example, videos can be protected using DRM keys, which means that people cannot download videos, which is really important for a lot of our customers as well. It provides very dynamic streaming, which means that on Apple devices it uses appropriate streaming technology. On Android it uses uh, it's appropriate. So all of this is taken care of by Azure Media Service, and it's very easy to work with as well. We have REST APIs that we have integrated with, and we authenticate it using Active Directory, and everything was just seamless. Now we can just concentrate on generating our metadata, which is what our strength is, and let all the heavy lifting, leave all the heavy lifting to the cloud. Yeah, so it's a very interesting solution that we found, and we obviously recommend it to anyone who's trying to build any video solution. No need to build your own transcoding engines and things like that. You can do it, of course, but it's a problem that's already solved, which is not worth solving anymore.
True. I mean, while we are on this slide, there was one question which came in from the audience, specifically on Azure Media Service. So I'm just
Yeah.
going to bring that up here. So basically, Shiv wanted to know, Azure Media Service, does it have this, uh, extracting faces, emotions, search video by questions and other things, or is it something
Hmm.
which you build on top of that, using cognitive services and your own deep learning services
Right,
which you
right.
have?
So actually, we have just scratched the surface of Azure Media Service. Basically, we had our integration a year ago, and last time I checked, there has been a lot of new features like topic extraction. You can, once a speaker switches between, you can identify there was a speaker switch. So all these features are built into it. But we are just using probably like 20-25% of what Azure Media Service offers, which is solving our core problem. But yeah, I have seen that lately there has been a lot of new features that are added, which we are also exploring. Uh, for example, we have our own key phrases extraction engine, uh, whereas we are comparing it with how Azure Media Service is doing it as well. They have built-in captions as well, and we are always evaluating how these solutions are. You know, for example, for transcriptions, you use something called a word error rate, which is out of 100
Hmm.
words, how many words did he get right across a bunch of different audio with the noise, audio clear. So we are always checking the word error rates with our own solutions, and trying to figure out whether it's a good idea to move to this built-in captioning service as well. Yeah, so just like I said, we just scratched the surface of Azure Media Service. We are actively looking into what else we can integrate into our system as well.
Got it. I think that's pretty much. So I've just posted the link to Azure Media Service as well. So a bunch of other features which it provides, so you could just take a look at it. If that's something is of interesting. There are a bunch of other questions which are coming in, Jeril, but I think this is also a very good question. Once you have indexed the video, once you have done the translation added, and your added questions and other things, can the video be pushed back to YouTube with the translations and the questions?
Um, that's a good question, actually. So the way it works is that we add a metadata layer on top of YouTube. So what we have is something actually a browser extension. So if you have that browser extension, then once all our videos are indexed, you get all these features on top of YouTube, within YouTube as well. What we don't do is, embed questions and such into the native YouTube videos, which is technically not feasible at this point. Uh, but as you know already, YouTube has built-in chaptering. Uh, but currently, I believe our chaptering solutions are slightly ahead in that sense. So if you have a YouTube channel that you want to have indexed, so you just integrate it to uh, our solutions, and we can push these chapters out to YouTube. So what happens is you push these chapters into the YouTube video's description as timestamps, and YouTube shows them as chapters. So but by the way, you don't have to enter those chapters yourself. So we can index an entire YouTube channel like that. So that's another thing that we can do.
Got it. So all I need to have is a browser extension, and then boom, I can get
Yeah,
those videos there.
yeah, yeah. Then you get all the features like questions, chapters, transcript search. Everything is available through the browser extension. Yeah.
Perfect. Cool. Let's move on, Jeril. Then,
Sure.
while
Mm,
audience keep sharing your questions in the chat. We will try and answer them whenever there is a relevant topic also coming in.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to go to the video analytics that we have. Hmm. Yeah, so this is just a test account that I have loaded, um, just to give a quick overview of our analytics that we have. Um, uh,
Can you little
at a
bit
very
zoom in? Can you
oh yeah,
zoom this in?
yeah,
Uh, yeah, better,
uh,
better now. Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so um, yeah, so this is just a test account, just like I mentioned, and we get like an overall s- overview of how your videos are doing. Let's say you have 10 videos or 100 videos in your account. We get a bunch of basic stuff: how many views you got, how many unique viewers, total time spent, and we have some scores like. So I've taken here last 7 days. So compared to the previous 7 days, in the last 7 days, your learner engagement has gone down 24%. So this is kind of a quick glance at how your videos are doing. Yeah, we get
How
daily
how do
trends.
you how do you how do you calculate learner engagement there?
So we can take into account a bunch of things. So we track every minute of time spent on a video, and when a user drops off, so we know whether a section of video has been watched or not. Also, people engage with the video through chapters, searching, quizzes. All of these track, and we come up with a weighted score of how engagement has gone up or down based on. So you can just take a quick look at this and uh, know whether your videos engagement are driving up or down on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, things like that. Um, yeah, we give a quick overview of what kind of topics people are clicking on. So these we accumulate this from the searches people do, the chapters people click on, the videos people click on, and we run it through algorithm and just to give a quick overview of what kind of topics people are looking at. Um, uh, there is a bunch of interesting statistics that we give, uh, like what time of the day people are watching the videos, what day of the week people are watching the videos, what kind of devices people are watching it from. We can also drill down into an individual video, which is what here. Within that video, again, we give an overview of all the metrics for that individual video. Um, we show something called engagement distribution. Um, this is the basically showing which part of the video has been most engaging to the users. So yeah, it's very useful information. So if you see a part of the video that's not engaged that much, probably you need to do some changes, give it more energy, make it more engaging, things like that. Based on this, you can take those actions. Within this video, what kind of things people are clicking at, what kind of things people are searching for, all of this. Um, uh, Also, we give something called drop-off points. So let me just switch it to the last 28 days. So we kind of tells you at what point of the video people are leaving the video. So for example, here I can see that almost everyone is watching till the end, and towards the end there is a big drop-off. So this is probably a good sign that people are sticking to the end of the video. Uh, and we also give chapter-wise at what chapter is, if your video is chapterized, at what chapter people are leaving and how many people left at what chapter in the video. So uh, probably helps you to understand how the user sentiment is towards various sections of your video. um, yeah Also, if there are quizzes in the video, we give a overall how the quizzes were faring, what kind of scores people are getting, things like that. So all of this will help you to uh, better make your students engage with the videos. Yeah, there's a lot of other analytics that I probably won't have the time to show. Um, yeah, just like I said, this is the integrations that we have with the video players. We have Zoom, Brightco, YouTube, Kaltura, JW Player, which are the main providers. We are just also adding another player called Vistia, which is probably going to be live pretty soon. So yeah, that's just a quick overview of the analytics that we do. Um, and
So
yeah,
what is the differentiator analytics you have from YouTube? Like those are the engagement, is it?
yeah. So at what point people are dropping off from the video? At what chapter
Mm-hmm.
people are dropping off from the video? Um,
Mm-hmm.
as you also saw, there's an engagement graph. Also, we have reactions to sections of the video, which
Mm-hmm.
means that you get good reactions in one chapter, you get bad reactions in one chapter. That's also another way of knowing if that part of the video was interesting at all.
So
Also, yeah,
sometimes what happens is, I mean, just a use case, whether that how do you solve this through this? So I just play some video, and I'll be watching some video, and sometimes it's just playing, and I move to something else and doing something while it is running. And how do you capture those kind of scenarios? Like, you mean to say that I watched it completely, I was engaging, or how are you capturing that information?
actually, our player is pretty intelligent, which means that you have a video playing and you switch to another tab. We stop counting that video as being watched at that minute. So we do, but there's obviously people who can get around it. So it's not a foolproof solution per se.
Yeah,
But we do the basic. We cover the basics to make sure that
it's all about percentage, so it's
yeah,
okay.
it's
I
all
mean,
about
that is something
percentage.
true.
Yeah, yeah.
There are a bunch of questions which have come in. So for again, for YouTube, do you get those metrics from YouTube videos as well? Not just your metric, uh, your dashboard, I mean, like uploaded videos, but do you
Hmm.
get all of these metrics for YouTube videos as well, is what the
We
question
do,
says.
we do, we do. So just like I said, we what we do is just like YouTube gives you an embed code for your video to be embedded in a website. We give our own embed code. Uh, Once you have embedded that into any platform, all the views are tracked. Everything is tracked. So whatever YouTube gives you, on top of that, we gives you additional statistics and analytics.
Got it. There's one more question on how do you calculate those metrics. uh, is it from metadata in the video that are uploaded? Yes, I
Um,
think so.
yeah. So we calculate the metrics based on we track the time people spend on videos. All of this tracked anonymously, so we don't track any user identifier information. So all of it's anonymously tracked, which YouTube is also tracking people's. So we do the same, and we know what sections of the video people are most engaged. We run it through our analytics pipeline. We integrate with the chaptering data that we have, and we come up with these graphs. Yeah,
Perfect. Perfect. So let's move on. Audience, if you have any questions, keep posting it. We'll just talk about the architecture of analytics then.
right. Um, Actually, we have a very straightforward architecture for analytics. This has been around for the last 4 or 5 years, uh, and yeah, we haven't got on the Kubernetes bandwagon yet for that thing. But just to give you a quick overview of how it works, we have a Django front end, um, and we have a task queue which is Celery. All the events go through there. So our video player sends all our events through an Azure function, and we dump all our data into Cosmos DB. Um, and the one good thing about Cosmos DB there is that we get high write throughput, and it's been meeting our demands so far. So we haven't had any complaints so far. And we aggregate all this data through a bunch of worker nodes through a VM scale set, and we store all of our analytics data into Postgres, and which gets served through the pipelines. Yeah, just like I said, we have been looking at Kubernetes as a solution, but also we figure that if it's not broken, don't fix it. This has been working pretty well for us, so we're pretty happy with it. But continuously, we are evaluating if we need to move into something like a Kubernetes service, or if we need to move into something like a Just to add some more to that, we have a log analytics workspace, which means that we have any unique analytics requirements, we can just query the workspace and get uh, some unique analytics that people are asking for, which is also very convenient for us. Yeah, so a lot of uh, we are pretty heavily reliant on uh, services like that. Yep.
So if something is working, do not touch it. So that's the thing. So don't
Yes.
go for
Yes.
Kubernetes. That's the
Yeah, we haven't gone on that
startup
bandwagon yet.
mantra.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
If it
yeah,
is
yeah,
working, don't touch it.
yeah, yeah. It's very easy
Yeah,
to, it's very easy to go down that road where, there's a new hype in town and you just go after it. Um, but I mean,
yeah,
obviously we are looking at, what's our best options, cost wise as well.
yeah.
And we have done our analysis, and we have been pretty happy with this architecture.
Got it. So where do you use Elastic to well, you're using
Right,
it
right,
for indexing, I believe.
right. So that
Um,
was part of the video processing as well. Um,
okay.
those um, the worker nodes that we have here,
Hmm.
they once they generate the metadata, we push it to Elasticsearch indexing,
Got it.
and which is queried through the player, as well as we have a video library which is searchable. So all
Hmm.
this metadata is generated and it's pushed out to Elastic as well. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So there is one question in the chat from Karthik. He's asking about how does resume from where I left off work in your solution. So basically, I will be watching a video. I would switch the tab. I'll be
Right,
doing
right.
something, and I'll come back, and maybe I would have paused it, or probably will pause it later, or come back to the where I was watching, or make some
Yeah, yeah,
changes in the video, or move to different chapters. So
yeah, yeah.
when I do that, how does it work in your solution? Is what Karthik is asking.
Yeah. So for YouTube videos, YouTube does that automatically, so we didn't have to do anything there. For our own videos, we have built a simple caching mechanism based on Redis, which means that every user, we generate a unique ID which is stored in a browser cache, and we store it in Redis, which expires after a while, and we just it's kind of a LRU cache, which means that if you haven't if you don't come back to a video for a while, you're probably gonna have to resume it from the beginning. But we keep it in cache for a reasonably long time, so that even if you uh, leave the video and come back probably after a couple of weeks, you can just resume from where you left off.
Got it. So let's move on, Jeril. If there are
Yeah,
any questions, I'll just pull in.
sure, sure. Mm, yeah, just a quick overview of what all Azure services that we rely on. Yeah, we heavily depend on Cosmos DB. We use Azure Functions and Managed Identity for our authorizations and everything. We use App Service for app monitoring along with application insights. Uh, Gives us very good monitoring, and anytime we have a downtime, we are able to respond very quickly. Like I mentioned, we use media services and cognitive services. Um we push all our logs to log analytics, which is very useful because anytime a customer has a unique query, we can just query the logs and we can just get out the data. It's been very convenient that way. Uh, we use VM scale sets as our worker nodes and container instances. Uh, we use Key Vault for storing all our confidential information. We use Azure API management. This helps with the versioning of our APIs, which is very seamless. Um, yeah, we use container registry. Everything. So this is just a quick overview of all the services that we use. Um, yeah. So if anybody has any questions on that, I can take it right now.
It's pretty interesting to see. You use a lot of PaaS services, and you have offloaded all of your
Yeah,
load onto the to the cloud provider, and you're building it on top of that because you have a lot of use cases to take care.
yeah,
I can see that it's at a high level we can see that it is just a analytic tool, it's we are doing this. But if you go through the questions now, as people are asking, there are a lot of use cases which you need to take care through different set of tools you have to use to handle those questions. um, so any questions from the audience, just post it in the chat while we are just waiting for some of the questions. uh, just Jeril, you have anything else to showcase
mm,
here?
um,
Your
I just want to add on to what you said there that I mean, as a startup, I think it's very important to pick your battles very wisely.
Yep.
uh, and You can't wait around and solve a problem that's already solved because somebody's gonna jump you. You have to find your unique value proposition and focus on that, and just offload the rest to the cloud. So I think that's the mantra for success in a startup nowadays. Um,
So I
yeah,
have a question for you. So basically, um, this is B2B, right? And
yeah.
say, for example, I have my own set of videos. I do a lot of video recordings and I upload. Even I want to see what is the what is happening on my videos, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
how does that approach work? Like B2C? Yeah, are you looking at?
It's not entirely B2B in that sense, which means that
Mm-hmm,
if you're running a YouTube channel and you want
mm-hmm,
that YouTube channel to be indexed,
yep,
that's something we do. We just create an account on our system for you as well. Then it kind of acts like a B2B, but uh, yeah, you don't have to be
okay.
like an organization. You just have to have a YouTube channel and just do a simple integration with our dashboard, and you're all set. We pull in all the videos, index it, go through our system exactly as happens with the organization.
Great. So audience, if you have any questions, just post the question in the chat. I can pick that. Um, else, it is pretty interesting to see from the other slide, right? So there are pretty interesting set of services, which is like Azure Media Service, which is a very interesting one. I haven't worked on it, but that is something which now after seeing Jeril's all the demos and everything, so I want to go back and see what are the things you can do with Azure Media Services, right? So that's something which is a very interesting one, because a lot of things I know is on the top level, but internally when we look into it, there is a bunch of other things which you can do with that. It's quite
Yeah,
massive.
yeah. Yeah, so just to about Azure Media Services, actually you can build your own Twitch or your own YouTube using that. It's all pretty much there out of the box. And yeah, so like I said, it's bad idea for us to rebuild all that from scratch.
That's true. Cool. I think we haven't not getting any more questions as of now. So Jeril, thanks for coming in and sharing all the details here, and thanks for coming into the Scale Up Thursday. The bunch of questions were asked, and I learned a lot of stuff from this session. But it was a pretty interesting discussion. Thank you for coming here again, and thank you audience for asking question. Thank you Rashmita for hosting. Vinayak, thank you Vinayak for being there for first 20 minutes as well. Thank you for coming, Gerald.
Thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Vinayak. Thanks for having me.